The news of Red Bull severing ties with long-standing team principal Christian Horner has sent ripples through the Formula One community. For nearly 2 decades, Horner was synonymous with the team's meteoric rise, guiding them from midfield contenders to dominant champions. His leadership shaped not only the competitive edge of the squad, but also its culture, blending ambition with strategic daring. The announcement, however, reflects a deeper shift within Red Bull's internal dynamics, one where corporate influence is tightening its grip over the racing division. Austrian stakeholders, keen to align the team's direction with broader brand objectives, are reshaping the leadership hierarchy. While Horner's departure marks the end of an era, it also signals the start of a new chapter defined by different priorities. In the high-stakes world of Formula One, where team stability is as vital as raw speed, this transition raises questions about how Red Bull will maintain its competitive dominance. The decision wasn't sudden. It was the culmination of months of internal discussions, strategic reviews, and an evolving balance of power between the UK base and Austrian headquarters. The shift in Red Bull's internal structure reflects a growing consolidation of power in Austria, where the brand's corporate headquarters and principal investors reside. For years, the team's Formula One operation enjoyed a unique level of autonomy under Christian Horner's stewardship from the UK base in Milton Keynes. However, with recent board reshuffles and strategic evaluations, decision-making is increasingly centralized. Austrian leadership is asserting itself not only in financial oversight, but also in operational priorities, signaling a firmer grip on the sporting side. This transition aligns with the brand's broader business philosophy: streamlined control, cohesive branding, and a unified chains of command. The move to curtail Horner's influence illustrates a calculated intent to align the F1 team's vision with the corporation's global agenda. While some insiders suggest this could create tensions between the UK operations and Austrian leadership, others see it as a step toward stability and efficiency. Ultimately, the consolidation represents a clear pivot from personality-led decision-making to a model driven by corporate strategy, potentially redefining how Red Bull Racing engages with the competitive demands of Formula One. Christian Horner's career at Red Bull was defined by remarkable achievements, from the team's first win in 2009 to the dominant championship streak with Sebastian Vettel, and later Max Verstappen. His management style was hands-on, often acting as both strategist and public face of the operation. Under his watch, the team became a powerhouse known for innovation, aggressive race tactics, and a fearless approach to driver management. The separation marks a dramatic end to a partnership that redefined modern Formula One team leadership. However, Horner's departure is not just about results. It's about the evolving identity of the team. With the sport becoming increasingly commercialized, brand alignment and corporate governance have begun to outweigh individual leadership flair. This shift mirrors broader trends across the paddock, where boardrooms and shareholders hold more sway over strategic decisions than ever before. For Horner, the end came despite a track record of success, underscoring that even in Formula One, political and corporate factors can outweigh competitive achievements. His exit closes a chapter that will be remembered as one of the most successful managerial eras in the sport. The departure of a team principal like Christian Horner inevitably sends ripples through the driver lineup. Max Verstappen, the team's current Super's tar, developed under a management structure that gave him both competitive freedom and direct access to Horner's support. Likewise, Sergio Perez benefited from a leadership style that valued consistency and adaptability. With a shift in leadership, drivers must adapt to new communication channels, altered decision-making processes, and possibly a different strategic philosophy during races. The Austrian-led structure may introduce more centralized control, potentially limiting the flexibility drivers have enjoyed. This could impact on-track tactics, from pit-stop calls to aggressive overtaking strategies. In a sport where milliseconds matter, Any change in the chain of command can influence driver confidence and performance. The new leadership's approach to driver relations will be critical in maintaining harmony within the team. While Verstappen's proven skill may shield him from immediate disruption, the psychological impact of losing a trusted team leader could subtly affect his approach. For Perez, the change might be more decisive, especially if the team reevaluates its long-term driver strategy under new management. Formula One teams often balance two competing forces: the relentless pursuit of racing success and the need to maintain a corporate image aligned with business goals. Under Horner, Red Bull leaned heavily toward a racing-first philosophy, prioritizing innovation and track performance over cautious brand management. Austrian leadership, however, appears to be steering toward a more balanced approach, one that emphasizes global brand consistency alongside competitive results. This could mean a more conservative racing culture, where calculated risk replaces aggressive, on-the-limit strategies. The clash between a racing team's instinct to push boundaries and a corporation's desire for brand security is not unique to Red Bull, but it is especially significant given the team's past willingness to challenge norms. This change in philosophy may influence every thing from car development cycles to media engagement. While this could foster long-term stability, there is a risk of losing the audacious spirit that made Red Bull a disruptive force in the sport. How the team reconciles these priorities will determine whether it can sustain its dominance without sacrificing its distinctive racing identity. Leadership changes in Formula One do not stop at the boardroom. They cascade down to the engineering and technical departments. Red Bull's engineering excellence under Adrian Newey has been a cornerstone of its success. The new Austrian-led management may bring shifts in how resources are allocated, which projects receive priority, and how risks are managed in car development. While Newey's influence remains significant, a more corporate-driven oversight could slow experimental design processes, favoring proven methodologies over groundbreaking but uncertain innovations. This change might also affect the recruitment of technical talent. Engineers drawn to the team's reputation for innovation may be wary of a more rigid corporate culture. Conversely, a structured and predictable environment might attract those who thrive under clear operational frameworks. The balance between maintaining Red Bull's engineering edge and adhering to new corporate directives will be critical. Even small changes in decision-making timelines or project approvals can have tangible effects on car performance, especially in a sport where development speed can dictate championship outcomes. The business side of Formula One is deeply intertwined with team leadership, and Horner's departure will inevitably influence Red Bull's market positioning. Sponsors often value stability and the personal relationships built with key figures like Horner. His presence was a selling point, reflecting confidence, professionalism, and proven success. With Austrian leadership taking a more prominent role, some sponsors may welcome the corporate consistency, while others may feel apprehensive about the loss of a familiar face. The team's ability to secure new deals or renew existing partnerships will depend on how effectively it communicates its new vision. Market perception also extends to fan engagement. Horner had a loyal following that appreciated his candid style and visible passion for racing. The Austrian influence could shift the team's public image toward a more formal, brand-focused identity. Whether this strengthens or weakens Red Bull's commercial pull will depend on how well the team adapts its outreach to align with both corporate and competitive objectives in this new era. Transitioning leadership in Formula One carries inherent risks. The most immediate is the potential disruption to competitive performance during a period when rivals are constantly evolving. A new leadership model may require time to integrate fully, during which decision-making efficiency could suffer. If the team experiences a dip in performance, critics will quickly link it to the absence of Horner's steady hand. Another risk lies in managing internal morale. Formula One teams operate at intense levels of pressure, and uncertainty at the top can unsettle staff, from engineers to pit crews. The Austrian leadership must navigate this carefully, ensuring that operational focus remains on track success while internal adjustments take place. There is also the challenge of maintaining unity between the Austrian headquarters and the UK-based race team. Any perception of division could be exploited by rivals both on and off the track. Ultimately, Red Bull's challenge is to implement change without losing the precision, confidence, and competitive hunger that have been central to its recent dominance. The shift at Red Bull comes at a time when Formula One is experiencing heightened political maneuvering among teams, governing bodies, and commercial stakeholders. Leadership changes can alter the balance of influence within the sport's decision-making circles. Horner was an established voice in the paddock, known for advocating strongly on technical regulations, cost caps, and sporting rules. His absence may open the door for other team principals to gain greater influence, potentially altering the dynamics of future negotiations. Austrian leadership may adopt a different approach, more corporate, less confrontational, which could either smooth relationships or reduce Red Bull's assertiveness in defending its interests. These changes will unfold against the backdrop of ongoing debates about sustainability, race calendars, and technical evolution. In a sport where off-track politics can be as decisive as on-track performance, the leadership style Red Bull adopts. In this transition will shape its competitive position not only in races, but also in the boardrooms where Formula One's future is decided. Christian Horner's departure and the rise of Austrian influence mark one of the most pivotal junctures in Red Bull Racing's history. The team is entering a period of transformation where its identity, strategies, and relationships will be redefined. While the foundations built over the past 2 decades remain strong, the real test will be whether the new leadership can sustain the level of success that has made Red Bull a modern Formula One powerhouse. This is more than a personnel change. It is a cultural shift that could influence every aspect of the organization. The Austrian leadership's ability to balance corporate priorities with the relentless demands of racing will determine if Red Bull continues to set the pace or becomes more conservative in its ambitions. The decisions made in the coming months will echo for years, shaping not only the team's competitive trajectory, but also its legacy in the sport. This is a crossroads where Red Bull must decide what kind of Formula One team it wants to be in the next era.